Hey y'all, it's Christy with Christy's Custom Creations, and today is a follow-up to my last video from when I showed you how I sublimated some glass snow globe tumblers. We're going to add some glitter into them, and I'm going to show you the process that I used. Also show you some different ways, some different liquids that I used inside. I wasn't sure what I would like best, so I was like, well, hey, let's try 4 different ones. So for this one, I'm going to use Blue Skies. It is a really pretty lighter blue glitter from my glitter line, KCC glitter, and it can be found at kccglitter.com. I'll also have it linked down in the description box below. But this first tumbler here, we are going to use contact solution. I was very apprehensive about using contact solution because I was like, contact solution in a tumbler? Come on now. But you'll see it at the end. I was very pleasantly surprised by the contact solution. I actually think it might be my best or my most favorite liquid to put in there with the glitter. It was really awesome. So I took a piece of painter's tape and I just folded it over a little bit on the edge so that the glitter wouldn't stick to the painter's tape. And there's a little hole on the bottom of the tumbler here, and I just tried to put about an inch. I think I put just a little bit too much glitter in all these tumblers, but it was my first time doing it, so you live and you learn, right? So I have just a little makeup brush, and excuse my big hand in the way, but I'm just using the makeup brush. It's like a little eyeshadow brush to push the glitter into the hole. It worked just a little bit better than my finger did. So I'm just getting it in the hole there, and once I get it in the hole, I will check it and see, if I like the level of glitter. Sometimes it's like a less is more. I think I probably put like 1.5 inches or so of glitter in here. You don't need quite that much. Whenever you pull the tape off of your cup, probably hold it over a trash can because you have a bunch of glitter all around the edge. So this is just some really super cheap contact solution from Walmart. It's the Equate brand. I bought like a 2-pack of it. It was, I think, like $5 for a 2-pack, something like that. It was pretty inexpensive. And I'm just going to fill it all the way up. So as you fill it, you might need to put your finger over the hole and just help that solution work its way down into the glitter. And I do that by just kind of moving it around and shaking it just a little bit. And I will continue to fill until I get to the very top. You do want to leave just a little bit of a bubble at the top. You don't want to leave it you don't want to fill it completely up. You have to leave a bubble, because if you don't leave a bubble, then that bubble's you're not going to have anything to travel up through the glitter and basically help that glitter flow through the tumbler. So I did leave a little bit of a bubble. I could have done a smaller bubble. I just wasn't 100% sure how I was exactly going to do it because I'd never done these snow globes before. So like I said earlier, this is probably one of my favorite methods is the contact solution. I found that it flowed so much better. Like if you want a really flowy glitter, snow globe glitter, contact solution is probably the way to go. I mean, it flowed like no other. And as you see here, I keep turning it upside down and back and forth. I'm just trying to work that solution into the glitter that is up in this picture. It looks like the bottom of the cup, but it's the top of the cup. So this next one we're going to use a white glitter, also by my glitter line, called Opal Blizzard. It's a opal-y white chunky mix. It's really pretty, but I went ahead and filled it in there. There's no reason to watch me fill these cups with glitter every single time, so I showed it one time and you can use your imagination for the rest. But this next one is going to be baby oil. Baby oil was what I figured would probably work the best because I've used it in a pen before. So I don't know if y'all remember, there were some companies that would sell like these pens that had a little spot on the end where you could put some glitter in. And I'd done it on a pen before and I really liked it until it started leaking. But so I got these cheap little condiment bottles at Walmart. I think they were like $1 each, something like that. And I am just squeezing the baby oil in there. And as you can see, I'm working that baby oil down into the glitter just by moving the cup. I've got my finger over the hole. You want to make sure you've got your finger on the hole. And as you can see, my fingers are super oily from this baby oil. So my concern with the baby oil was trying to get a good seal on this tumbler at the end, you know, because it's so oily. I was afraid it was going to try to break down whatever I had sealed it with. Whether you seal it with like a Gorilla Glue type tape or whatever, I was afraid that the baby oil would break it down or would cause a leak. So make sure you clean your glass really super good when you are using baby oil. So I found that like if I kind of tap on the side a little bit, it helps to get that glitter down in there. And just really shaking it around. One thing that I noticed with the baby oil and the contact solution, I was able to like really shake it a lot, and I did not have problems with like bubbles in the solution. One of the other ones that I did that you'll see later in the video, I had a ton of bubbles in it. So that is what I did like about the baby oil and the contact solution, is I didn't have a ton of bubbles afterwards. I did let all 4 of these tumblers gas off throughout the night. I mean, I guess you don't necessarily have to let like the contact solution gas off, but I did. I wanted to make sure that any little bubbles that might have been hiding amongst the glitter or anything like that, I wanted to give it the chance to just, you know, kind of come up. So this next method here is the clear Elmer's glue and distilled water. I will never use this method ever again. So it was a 50-50. I believe we did a 50-50 mix on this one, or no, it might have been one. Okay, sorry. This one was 1 to 2 parts. I think it was 1 part Elmer's glue to 2 parts distilled water, I believe. Y'all, I will never do this method ever again. It made such a mess of that tumbler, and honestly, that tumbler is gonna have to go in the trash. You'll see it a little bit later. It bubbled up, and it did not do well. It would not move the glitter. It wouldn't get through the glitter, and it didn't even, like, once I mixed it, it didn't even seem very thick. It just would not. It wasn't any good. I'm not a fan of this method. If you use this method here with the clear Elmer's glue and the distilled water and it works better for you, I would love to hear how it works for you, because it did not work for me. It jacked my cup up. It made my glitter super clumpy inside the tumbler, and it just would not flow. So I am going to put this mixture here of the distilled water and the clear Elmer's glue into another condiment bottle, and and that's what I will use to put it into the tumbler. Like I said, I wanted to try the 4 different methods, because you see out there where so many different people are like, well, I do this and I do that, but you don't ever really know what works best for you. And I'm glad I did this method, because I'm hooked on making these snow globe tumblers now. I really love these snow globe tumblers. They're so cute. I like to drink iced coffee. I kept the Good Morning Mother Clucker tumbler for myself, because I have chickens and I'm obsessed with my chickens, and so I went ahead and labeled this because I didn't want to start getting my bottles confused, so I just put a piece of tape on there. But I love my chickens, so I drink iced coffee out of my chicken tumbler that I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this one up. So this is called Ocean Waves. It's also from my glitter line. I'll have everything linked in the description box below. So I put some glitter in here. I probably should have used a little less glitter than what I put in there, but like I said, first time ever doing it. So I'm going to just squeeze it in the hole there and fill it up. And you'll see as it fills that it just did not want to penetrate and sink down into that glitter. I could not get it to go through the glitter very well. As I started shaking this tumbler, it started bubbling. I could not get the bubbles out of it, and it like I said before, it clumped my glitter up really bad. I had high hopes for this glitter. Susie, my admin in my Facebook group, she was in town with me. See, you can see the bubbles there just from the little bit of shaking that I did, and it was bubbling so bad. But Susie from my Facebook group, she was in town and we were trying these different methods and everything. And this was going to be her tumbler. And we were just so disappointed because it was going to be so cute. But it just, as you can see, I worked and worked and worked on this tumbler trying to get it to penetrate the glitter down in the bottom, and all it did was just bubble up in there and clump up. So I will not be using this method anymore at all. So I will probably honestly stick to the contact solution method. I really, really love the contact solution. And if you need something that moves a little bit slower, baby oil, or the fourth method, I'll go ahead and blow the surprise. The fourth method is going to be the glycerin and water. So we just did a 50-50 glycerin and water. This is called Tutti Frutti. It's also a chunky mix. All the glitters that we used in these tumblers are chunky mixes. So here I'm just using 50-50, 1 part glycerin to 1 part distilled water. You always want to make sure that you use distilled water in these tumblers. That way it doesn't, if you use like regular tap water, it could start getting nasty inside your tumbler over time. The glycerin was I was very surprised how well it mixed in with the water. When I first poured it in the water, I was like, ooh, this is going to look crazy. Kind of like lava lamp. But it mixed in. As soon as I started mixing it, it got really super clear and it mixed in really well. I would like to try the glycerin method again, just using a little less glitter, because like I said, I probably used a little too much glitter in these tumblers. I mean, I'm of the mindset you can't have too much glitter, but you can whenever you put too much in there and it doesn't really want to move very well. So don't be like me. Use a little bit less glitter. Maybe add it to about 1 inch in there rather than 1.5 inches. But as you can see, it really cleared up. It got very clear as I mixed the glycerin in. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to use one of these little cheap condiment bottles from Walmart, pour it in there, and that is how we will put it into the tumbler. I am also going to label this bottle here because all the mixtures kind of look the same in the different bottles, so I wanted to make sure I didn't get them mixed up for video purposes. So all right, we're going to go ahead and fill this one up. It's got, like I said before, the Tutti Frutti, and glycerin and water is going in there. As you can see, I used entirely too much glitter in there. I love glitter, but just don't be like me. Don't use quite so much. So like I said, it would probably flow a lot better if I had used a little bit less, but I do really like this design. The design is super cute. It went great with the pink glitter. It's a hot pink chunky mix, and it just looked so good in there with that design, with the leopard print design and everything. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before, and I'm going to fill it up. And unlike the glue, this didn't bubble up like the glue did. It was very similar to the baby oil, kind of. It wasn't quite as thick as the baby oil, but it wasn't as flowy as the contact solution was. Personally, I like really super flowy, so the contact solution is probably my favorite. But I do want to give the glycerin and baby oil method another shot, just using a little bit less glitter in the tumblers. So look how pretty that glitter looks with that design, with the leopard print design. That's so super cute. I just absolutely love it. So again, I'm going to top it off to the point where we have just a little bubble on top. You don't want a lot of bubbles on top, or you don't want a big bubble on top, because then whenever you turn it upright to drink out of it, you'll have a big gap, a big airspace up top. But you do want a little bubble that will just move through that glitter as you turn the cup over, and will help the glitter flow. The glitter does flow a lot better when you don't have as much glitter in there. I know I sound like a broken record, but that is definitely something I would do different next time, is not use as much glitter. So there we go. I have got, and you can see it flowing here in the video, but I've got all 4 different snow globe tumblers. I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to seal it. I had gotten some of the Gorilla Tape that you see back there in the back. I didn't end up using the Gorilla Tape. I wanted to try it, but then I was afraid that the baby oil would break down the adhesive on the tape and that it wouldn't work. I also have some Loctite silicone. I did end up using the silicone, but right now I have a piece of sandpaper. It's 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to sand the bottom part here because we are going to end up sealing it in with a UV resin. But I am sanding the bottom here and around the hole really good because I want that silicone to adhere to the hole that we put the glitter and the liquid into. So this is just a 220 grit sandpaper. I buy it on Amazon, and I do have it linked down in the description box below. I use this sandpaper on all the tumblers that I make, whether it be a glitter tumbler or glass or whatever. That is the sandpaper I use on everything. So it's a adhesive, sticky back, and so it sticks to your fingers, and it just makes it really easy to work with. And I'm just going to continue sanding the bottom of all 4 of these tumblers. So since this part of the video seems to be absolutely ridiculously long, I do want to talk about a video that I am planning to make. I bought some new epoxy, or not epoxy, I'm sorry. I bought some new UV resin from Resin Rockers, and I've seen one of my friends, her name's Angela, with Glittering the Coast. I've seen her use this UV resin before. It is the bomb, and it cures so fast. It literally cured within a minute underneath the UV lamp, and it was dry to the touch. It wasn't sticky like a lot of other UV resin. So I bought that, and then they also had a mold for the plugs for these tumblers. It's a soft UV resin that you use with it, and it's a mold to plug the bottom of these tumblers rather than using a tape or a glue or anything like that. So I am going to give that a try in a future video. Right now I'm just wiping the bottoms with acetone, making sure that they are super, super clean. So this is Loctite. It's a clear silicone, and I'm just going to fill those holes up. Now, I did not have much of a problem filling the holes with the glycerin and water, or the contact solution, or the glue and water. However, the baby oil, the hole for the one that I used the baby oil on, was a royal pain in my you-know-what. So the baby oil obviously did not want to let the silicone adhere, because it's oil, so it's not going to adhere like it should, and that was very frustrating. So like I had mentioned, I'm going to do a future video where I use less glitter in the tumblers, and I use the plug, the UV resin plug with the mold that I got from Resin Rockers, to see how that works. I haven't tried it out yet, but of course I'm going to try it out on video for y'all. So I'm just going back over these and just trying to get the hole filled up. I really struggled with the baby oil tumbler with the silicone, but I didn't end up using the Gorilla Tape because I was afraid that it would that the oil would break down the tape. So I ended up getting it completely sealed. I let it dry overnight, and then the next day I put some more Loctite on there, more silicone on there. I'm just wiping the silicone to try to level it out, because I don't want it to be a big lump, because when you turn your cup over to sit on a table, you don't want a lump, because it's going to then give your cup a wobble. So I just wiped it dry. Time to go in with the UV resin. Once that silicone is completely dry, completely dry, you go in with some UV resin. This is just a UV resin that I got on Amazon, and I am going to sand once again here, because My silicone was a little bit lumped up right there, so I just kind of went over that silicone a little bit with the sandpaper to make sure it was good and flat before I put the UV resin on. But the UV resin came from Amazon. It's the same UV resin that I've used in multiple different videos. But I am super excited about trying the Resin Rockers resin that I had previously mentioned. So I just have a finger caught on my finger rather than wasting a whole glove. I put a finger caught on here, and I'm just going to spread that UV resin around. You don't want to make a mess of it, because then it's going to be dripping over the edge of the tumbler. You want to just try to keep it right there on the bottom, and you want it to be as level as possible, because if it's not level, your cup's going to be doing the wobble whenever you're using it. So once I got it on there, I just took this little lighter and I went over it real quick just to try to pop any bubbles that might have been on there. And then I have my nail lamp. My nail lamp I also bought on Amazon, and I'll have everything linked down in the description below. But I just ran it through a couple of cycles. I think I ran it through 3 60-second cycles on my nail lamp here. And then I took it out and I set it in the sun. I'm in Florida, so it's usually pretty sunny. So I just took them out and I set them in the sun. So now I have got these tumbler labels. These they're decals that go on the bottom of a tumbler. I bought them from Critter Cup Customs, and it's a chick named Carrie, and she's awesome, and she's in my Facebook group. But she makes the cutest custom logos and decals and everything, and she sent me these decals for the bottom of the tumblers. I've used them on the bottom of some of the other tumblers I've done in some tutorials, and I love them. They're so cute. They're very pretty and classy, and it's got tumbler care instructions on them. It tells you don't put them in the dishwasher, don't drop them, don't soak them. It's a great little tumbler care sticker with your decal on it. So I put that on, did the same thing with the UV resin, and then I let it completely dry. And I stuck it out in the sun to let it finish curing, because the sun does a much better job than the UV lamps do. Okay, so this is going to be the glycerin and water. There's not a whole lot of flow here. I feel like it would be more flowy if I hadn't used as much glitter, but that's okay. So here is the baby oil. The baby oil is nice and flowy. I really do like the baby oil. The only problem I had was just it's so darn oily that I had a hard time getting the silicone to stick in there. So that is so pretty. I love that glitter with that design. This next one is the hot mess of the clear Elmer's glue and distilled water. It's horrible and bubbly, and the glitter clumped. And then this last one, look how super flowy the contact solution is. I am obsessed with this one. I really like it. I love how much it flows. It literally takes no effort. You turn the cup over and the glitter flows. It is so pretty. So out of all four, I definitely have to say the contact solution is my absolute favorite. Baby oil would probably come in second place, the glycerin and water in third, and forget the clear Elmer's glue. That's a no for me. But I love it. I love how it turned out, and they are just all so pretty. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below, and I have everything that I use linked down in the description box as well. If you didn't check my original video from when I sublimated them, be sure to check that out. I hope y'all have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Bye.